Hey guys, and welcome back to the Blissful Athlete YouTube channel. Today I want to do a video to talk to you guys about some of the mystical experiences I've had, especially at the beginning of my spiritual awakening. I've mentioned them multiple times. I grew up an atheist and I didn't believe in God, and there was a lot of questions and doubts I had about whether it was Jesus or religion and the divine in general. And so when I was going through my awakening, it was a real cool process. It was really wide or eye-opening, and it was a cool experience to go through, especially at the beginning phases. And as we move along on this conscious raising, on this elevation of humanity, this conscious elevation, a lot of people are going to be going through the same thing. I speak to a lot of friends that were never really spiritual or anything like that, and they're starting to have these same experiences. And this is what's going to happen continuously ever since the Mayan calendar ended. It was basically letting us know that we're moving towards a newer, higher state of consciousness. And so a lot of people are going to have these experiences as well. And for me, when I was going through this phase, I was learning a lot about energy and frequencies and consciousness, and ultimately different dimensions as well. And I had learned that enlightenment, or becoming self-realized and achieving a super consciousness, literally means that you go beyond this third dimension and you go up to a fourth dimension, a whole new realm of perceiving reality. And I had learned that there are enlightened masters that move on to other dimensions, and spiritual beings that are in other dimensions, higher selves and guides and angels and all these things. And so I was really intrigued by all this this stuff, and so I got really into psychics. And at one point I was playing ice hockey in Alaska Anchorage, and at the time I was really interested in psychics, like I said. So I went and saw a psychic, and I sat down, and she did a little meditation. She really brought herself in, and she's like, yeah, we're just going to see what some of the Enlightened Masters have to say. Or she didn't say anything about the Enlightened Masters at first, but then all of a sudden she goes, there's multiple Enlightened Masters here, and the Buddha is one of them, and a few others. I can't remember if she said any other names, but the Buddha really stuck out to me. And she goes, they're all laughing and really enjoying our presence. And then she goes, I see this perfectly shaped snowman, and the snowman was representing me. And I wonder why. I'm well aware that I'm really pasty and I have white skin, and I used to be really self-conscious about that. But so the Enlightened Masters were showing me as this perfectly shaped snowman, and I had this blue scarf around my neck, she says. And then she goes, I see this snowman. It's on the first level of 7 different levels. And the 7 different levels represented the levels of ascension, she was saying. So there's 7 levels to ascension, or to achieving enlightenment, it sounded like. And so she saw me on this first level, or me, this white snowman. And the Enlightened Masters were all laughing and chuckling about it. And like I said, Buddha was there. That was the one name that really stuck out. And then the psychic meeting kind of ended. That was it. And I thought, okay, that's interesting. It was kind of cool to hear, but I really didn't get a ton from it. And so with that, I was like, okay, thank you, but I moved on, and I didn't go back to her. Fast forward a couple months later, I find myself in India, and I'm taking or doing this program with my guru called Inner Awakening, which was basically I call it almost like a defibrillator, shocking your spiritual consciousness back to life. And it was absolutely incredible. And at the end of the program, though, or during the program rather, another lady was she's like, I see this really high golden frequency all around you. And she goes, it's Jesus, Jesus is right there. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then also later on in that program, she goes, I see Archangel Michael with you. And so I knew a little bit about archangels, and archangels are basically spiritual guides as well, and we all have our own spiritual guides or angels that are following us and guiding us. And the Archangel Michael one really stuck out because my middle name was Michael at the time. But at the end of this program, I get to travel throughout India, and I went and had this amazing experience all over throughout India, and I came back and I actually stayed about 2 weeks at my guru's ashram. And one day I'm doing a meditation with this lady, Clara. She was clairvoyant, and she's from Mexico. And she walks up, or we're standing there, and we're in a meditation. We're sitting there, or sorry, we're standing there. And she goes, I see this figure, this female figure walking up to you, and she's putting this blue scarf around your neck. And I was just like, in that moment, I was like, what? Like, blue scarf? Like, nobody knew about the blue scarf. I didn't tell anybody about this experience or this meditation or this meeting I had with the psychic. And all of a sudden, a few months later, she talks to me about this lady that's putting this blue scarf around my neck. And so right away I was like, how does she know? Like, oh my God, that's crazy. And I didn't ask her a thing, but then she goes, it's Mother Mary. Mother Mary's putting this blue scarf around her neck. And I was just like absolutely shocked because, like I say, nobody knew. And all of a sudden I have Mother Mary putting this blue scarf around my neck. And absolutely what I thought was so cool was, well, one, this was for me signifying that I had moved up one level of ascension, because a few days later I experienced enlightenment. My guru blessed me with the experience of enlightenment, and I did a video on that. You can check that out as well. But so all of a sudden I see this beautiful divine experience where all these different religious figures are coming together, and they brought me to this point in time. So for instance, the Buddha was there during that first psychic meeting. And I didn't mention this, but at the beginning of my spiritual journey, I was doing a lot of meditation. I was learning a lot from the Buddha. I loved his teachings. And then I loved the teachings of Jesus as well. Like, do unto others as you would do unto yourself. I really took that to heart and tried to focus as much as I could on treating others the way I'd want to be treated. And of course, Jesus showed his presence with me during the Inner Awakening program that I mentioned. And then all of a sudden, later on in my guru's ashram, Mother Mary coming up to me and putting this blue scarf around my neck. And ultimately, here with my guru, another enlightened being that is basically the head of Hinduism. And so we have the Buddhism, we have Christianity, and we have Hinduism all coming together. They were all a part of my journey, a part of my path to bring me to where I am today. And it wasn't like one religion over the other and, you know, this one's better than that. Ultimately, there was a culmination that brought me to this one point. And the point where I'm at now today is living this spiritual lifestyle, which is Sanatana Hindu Dharma, which, I mean, you can classify it as religion, but ultimately it's just a way of life. And I had the Buddha and Mother Mary literally almost guide me towards this space, this way of life, which is Hinduism, which is a huge blessing, because now I'm in this space where I'm living with an enlightened master. I'm living with my guru. So it's absolutely incredible how it all happened, and I absolutely just love how these different beings, these higher selves, if you want to look at it like that, but these enlightened masters have guided me to this space, and they really showed me the importance of oneness, even within religion, and ultimately how important living Sanatana Hindu Dharma is, and living enlightenment. And so of course that's how I'm living today. I'm sitting here as a full-on practitioner of Sanatana Hindu Dharma, and to say that this was a blessing is beyond beyond comprehension for me. I feel like this path was absolutely carved out for me, and enlightened masters are there waiting for you to speak to them and to guide you, because ultimately when I was going through this, I was speaking with them. I was like constantly saying like, okay, like if there's like, you know, if everything's energy and like some being is higher above it, then I I was communicating with them and saying like, you know, do this for me, and I'd have all these crazy experiences. So I implore you to speak to your higher self, to speak to the angels that are guiding you, to speak to your future guru or your future the being that you want to help guide you ultimately, and they will respond. They are always responding to you, whether it's in numerical numbers, which is really cool, in just signs. You'll just see a sign, you'll ask a question, then you'll literally see a sign like say something the exact same way. If you're watching TV still, you could ask a question, and then later on in the day you'll see that the TV show that you're watching is exactly about that. These types of synchronicities are happening all the time. Synchronicities are very real. I could do a video about that later on, but ultimately interacting with life, interacting with the beings that are above you, the spiritual beings that are around you, is so amazing, and it's honestly going to help you wake up to your higher state of consciousness as well. And so that's really what I want you guys to get out of this video today, is to interact with the spiritual realm, to interact with those beings. And I guarantee you'll have experience as soon as you make the intention that, okay, I want to speak to a higher self or an angel. If you actually exist, show your face, and then be aware of that. Go throughout your day and have that on your mind, that I want to connect to you, because this is all that they're there for. They want to connect to you. They're begging for you to interact with them. So please do that, and then after you do that, write down your experience in the comments section below, and I'd love to hear about it. I'd love to respond and even guide you along if I can. So thank you for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed that experience from me, and I look forward to following up with you guys and seeing you on the next video. So thanks for tuning in, and be blissful.